Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi everybody, my name is Precious. Thank you so much for coming back again. If you are new here, thanks for clicking on my channel. Thank you so much. So my name is Precious. I live in Japan. I've been living here for a couple of months, years. Today's video is just like a light video about like habits that I've learned, or like behaviors that I've learned since coming to Japan, and also a few things that are different, like culture shock, I guess, between South Africa and Japan. South Africa is my home country. I'm South African if you're here for the first time. So if you think that's interesting, then please stay tuned for the rest of the video. Give a thumbs up, like, and please subscribe, guys. Okay, also, do I need an intro? I think I need an intro. Okay, so obviously first things first is like South Africa's DNA in J is just so different. Like I feel like South Africa is a loud country, whereas Japan is a very quiet country in terms of the people. The people are reserved and are really quiet, whereas South Africans are just like in your face, car horns everywhere, people talking to you. So like small talk, right? Small talk is a very big thing in my country, in South Africa, where like people will say hi to you, people talk to each other. When you go to like a cafe or restaurant, you usually talk to the waitress, you talk to the waiter, like you exchange a few conversation lines, right? It's normal. When you go to the petrol station, you talk to petrol attendants, and you know, yeah, malume man, you know, those vibes, friendly vibes. Whereas here, ma'am, no ma'am, there's no culture of small talk. Like people don't engage in small talk, which I think makes it a little bit difficult for like daily face-to-face. It makes it really difficult to just make friends easily, because small talk is not a thing unless they're like customer service, but then it's very limited. Do it because there's this thing where people are like, if you're a stranger, you are a stranger, and that's that, you know. Please keep. Number two is that usually in South Africa I find that when you meet a person, it's like the energy that they give you at that moment is it could be who they are. It's like usually who they are as a person. So in South Africa, if you meet an extroverted person, that's who they are. If you meet an introverted person, that's who they are. Whereas here, there's a strong distinction between the outside face and the inside face. So like the public person and the private person. So like there's a huge difference between like those two worlds, and sometimes it's just like, are you really who you are? You really like kind of like never know who you kind of like dealing with. Not dealing with, it sounds sinister. It's not sinister, but it's like you never know if this person's personality is really like what they are or who they are, because there's a cultural distinction, this cultural thing where they're like, you need to separate your public from the private, right? So for example, I feel like the best way to really know local people here is after hours, like after work, when you go to drinks. Like once people have a few beverages in their system, then the real person comes out. So the next thing that's different between South Africa and Japan, safety. And I put safety in quotation marks because, so if you're a woman, are you ever really safe? But anyway, so I mean this in the sense that back home, right, there is an obvious imminent danger. Like, you know that Nyape boys are probably going to steal your iPhone or your phone. You know that people are probably going to want to like grab your bag. You know that back home that it's like, you know that you shouldn't go out at night back home. Like that's a given. Here, it's like, it's a relaxed safety kind of thing where you're like, okay, not like let your guard down, but it's like it's okay to like walk around at night and not feel danger and not feel like you're going to be attacked, right? By the way, guys, disclaimer, so like things have been happening in like the media and like Tokyo, where like a couple of crazy people have been like going on trains, like blowing things up and like lighting fires and like pouring acid onto people and like just doing crazy things, which is happening. But I feel like it happens once in a while. That like in Japan, it's not like an immediate threat. It happens like literally once in like a year or something like that. But like in your daily life, right, in your daily life, like no one is going to take your phone, no one is going to like harass you, no one is going to be in your space, right? For example, I think in 2019 I went to a concert in Roppongi. Like Miguel, you know, he came to perform in Japan, I think 2 years ago, and I actually went. So the performance was like around 8 p.m, right, and it ended around midnight. So because I went alone, because you know, therapeutic, so I went alone and I had to obviously come back by myself. So I have to walk to like my house from the train station, and like I didn't feel unsafe, or like I didn't feel like you know, oh my gosh, I need to run home. And I feel like that's a really nice feeling to have, where you know that like there is no imminent threat, right? But like I said, because we are women and because men are men all over the world, we do have to kind of just exercise precaution wherever we can, right? But yeah, like basically in terms of that difference, like it's a little safe here. And also guys, here in Japan, like if you lose your phone, if you lose your wallet, if you lose your bag, if you lose your groceries, I mean, you can't really lose your groceries. Why would you lose your groceries? Anyway, if you lose those things, there is 99.9% chance that you will get them back. Like it's a given that you will probably get them back, because there's this culture of like honesty or like integrity type of thing, where people just like give things back. Like if it doesn't belong to you, it's not yours, and they give it back, right? The other thing is that in Japan, people don't, like in terms of theft, people don't really steal big things. Like things that are usually stolen in Japan are usually people will steal your bicycle, they will steal your umbrella, and they will steal your underwear and the clothes that you like hang outside, because it's free for all, you know, people can take it. So those are the kinds of things that you have to worry about. Whereas back home, you have to worry about like more serious things going missing, or more serious things getting taken away from you, right? So I guess that's like the big difference as well. Okay, next thing, the other difference between like back home and Japan is the beauty standards, or like the standards of beauty, or what people find beautiful, or what people find attractive, right? So back home, I feel like maybe it's like in the African culture, where you need to have nyash, you need to have a big booty. Well, not need to, but like a big booty is considered to be attractive, you know, like the Instagram girl is considered to be attractive, you know. The more skin you show, it's that kind of like the sexier you are deemed to be, right? You need to have like that thick figure, that thick body back home. Whereas here, the beauty standards are totally different. Beauty standards here are white skin, basically. So if you're a white person watching this video, yeah, but I'm joking guys, I'm not. But anyway, so like the beauty standard here is not really about how your body looks, it's not really about your shape. It's like you need to be thin, right? If you are thin, then you're good. If you are light skinned, if you're pale, if you're fair, if you're white, then yeah. If you have blonde hair, great. If you have blue eyes, great. But if you don't, then it doesn't knock you down. It's just that in terms of attractiveness, then you just fall back. But that's fine. It's just a thing of finding whoever you're attracted to. Not everyone is the same. Obviously there are individual people who have their own individual preferences that go against the majority. There are people like that. Good luck finding them, but they are but they are here, right? They are here. So touching on like the beauty standard here in Asia and how it's different back home. For example guys, Japanese women do not have hair. Like it's this culturally embedded thing where even like teenage kids to like old women, like no one has hair. Like on like their like forearms, I don't know if you guys can see, like forearms here. Okay, now I have hair, but like so like forearms and knuckles as well, like hair here, like on your knuckles. It's a thing where people are like you need to shave your hair, you need to shave your like any body hair is a no-no, because Japanese men, well, Asian men, okay, I can't speak for Asian men, but like Japanese men do not like hair. Like even they themselves shave their body hair. It's like, wow. It's, when I first came here, it was like dumbfounding. Like even the men shave their forearm hair, even the men shave their like knuckle hair, because it's a thing to not have hair. So guys, even I tried to do it. Like I won't lie, I will admit that I did it. Like I shaved my my like forearm, and I shaved my knuckles, and I liked it. I really liked it, because my skin felt so soft, and I'm like, will I do it all the time? I don't know, because I feel like it's so like, it's so tedious. And also like when you shave, it comes back again, like maybe even more. So yeah, if you're looking to like date a Japanese guy, you need to, you know, just like take into consideration how you look. Also, outside appearances are very important here. Like how you look outside, how you are presented. Like it's very superficial, I know, but that's like, that's the way it is, right? So you must really like put effort into how you look, right? Especially if you want to succeed in the dating game. I feel like wow. But I mean, it's not an entirely bad thing, right? Like I don't think it's a bad thing. Also, the differences in dating culture between back home and here is that I personally feel like back home it's very easy for people to like date, for people to ask each other out, for people to kind of just get it going, because small talk, right? Like you go to a cafe and you bump into someone and they say sorry, you talk, and then you exchange numbers, hi, boom, dating, boom, married. Right? Whereas here there's like steps, it's a little more formal, right? So what I've seen is that here when you go on dates, you need to go on at least 3 dates, right? At least 3 dates. After you go on like first date, second date, third date, the man has to give a confession, like a kokuhaku, right? A confession where they say, hi, I like you a lot, please be my girlfriend. Only after the 3rd date, or like 3rd or 4th, right? Around those numbers. If it's 2nd date, maybe it's a hookup, you know. But yeah, if it's 3rd or 4th, then it might be the real deal, right? So if you are a foreign girl and you're looking to date like a Japanese man, so guys, if like the way that you'll know if it's successful traditionally, if it's successful, is if after the 3rd date, then he or she will like give a confession, right? So if you are a foreign guy, you're trying to go to Japan and date a local woman, okay, you need to take her on a date maybe like 3 times. After the 3rd time, you actually need to give like a confession, like a love confession, like confession, like, hey, I like you, will you please be my girlfriend, let's date officially, right? If that doesn't happen, then ooh ooh, you know, like no one's doing anything, no one's moving forward, probably like just ghost you or something like that. But yeah, like that's what needs to happen in the dating culture here. Whereas back home, I feel like it's much more straightforward. I prefer the culture back home and how straightforward it is, right? But I also prefer the culture here where people make it known, like you know where you stand, right? You know that they actually have to like ask you, like, you know. So yeah, but I prefer the dating culture back home. Anyway, habits or behaviors that I have like acquired into my life. So first of all, like when you come here, right, you will bow every single time. Bow for everything, guys. When a person gives you something, you will bow, like bowing. You bow for everything. Like it's like a small little bow. You will even bow when you cross the road. Like when you're trying to cross the road and then a car like stops for you to cross, you will bow, because that's what people do, right? So like these little things that like people do, you will kind of also do, because, well, you are in Rome, and when you're in Rome, you do like the Romans do, right? It's just kind of like it becomes like a subconscious thing where you just bow wherever you go as well. And also saying sumimasen and hi. Like every single sentence you say in Japan, even if it's like in English, you will have to start with like sumimasen, can I do this? Sumimasen, can I do this? So it's like excuse me or sorry. So it's like the equivalent to that. People use it all the time. Everybody uses it, and I feel like you will also kind of use it as well. That I've like learned is that you will be hyper aware of your surroundings, or like hyper aware of yourself, because there's this thing of like not causing inconvenience to anybody, like making sure that no one is inconvenienced. Another thing, guys, so like, oh, the difference between South Africa and Japan, like I said, Japan is a very quiet country. So like when you go on the trains, do not talk. Like try and resist the urge to have a conversation with another person, because apparently like it's like, but like when you go on the train, people do not talk to each other. Like people try and limit the amount of times they have to talk to each other, because like people are seated so close to each other that it's almost like if you have a conversation, you are inconveniencing someone else with your noise, with your loudness, or like the contents of your conversation. So it's like the best thing to do is to really not like say anything. It's crazy, I know. But like when you get on the train, the common thing to do is like look on your phone. Even if there's nothing on your phone, look at it. Okay, if it's blank, look at your phone. Look at your phone, or maybe read a book, or read something, or do something. But like having conversations, especially if you're a foreigner, people will kind of like see you as like noisy, or see you as like those nosy foreigners. Like also in Japan, you will not find trash cans or like dustbins lying around. So the reason for that is because Japan is such a clean place. Like Tokyo is such a clean country, the streets are so clean. It's because people take that responsibility to kind of like keep their trash, or keep their little like garbage belongings, plastic wraps or whatever, to themselves. So you will almost never see anyone eating and walking. The closest maybe is like what is this, convenience store, but even then you will probably not find it, right? So what people usually do is that they avoid eating in public as much as they can. If you are really hungry, obviously you can like, you know, like do it discreetly, like, you know, do it not like you know, in a very secretive way. But like usually people don't really do that. So guys, is that thing of like not upsetting the social harmony, because like I said, you are a minority here. Okay, next thing, fashion. Let's talk about fashion. So like, fashion, or like the dress style here. So people do not wear tight clothes. I think I've mentioned this before in one of my videos. Like they don't wear tight clothes. Cleavage is a no. Like showing too much, even this part apparently is a little bit like risque. But I've seen women like wearing short sleeved or like sleeveless things, so it's fine. But like sleeveless things where like it doesn't have sleeves, it's a little looked down upon, you know. It's like, it's so crazy how they dress, or like what they deem to be reserved or conservative, right, or modest, right? So their fashion is like really towards that, like modesty, concealing your body, not showing too much, that kind of thing. Like you can still be fashionable and not show too much. You can still be sexy and not show too much. So I feel like that's like the prominent thing, and that's also like something that I've like adopted into my life. Another cultural thing that I've kind of adopted into my home, and I will adopt like once I move out of the space and go on to like bigger and better chapters in my life, is shoes in the house, guys. Like think about it, like the logic and the rationale actually makes so much sense, because you wear your shoes and you step outside and you just like step on like bubble gum, you step on people's spit, you step on like birds poop, you step on dirt, so much outside debris, and you have to like come back into your own sacred home, into your rugs, into your like floors, into your like carpets. It's just like so dirty. So like the Asian culture is very big on like outside shoes and inside shoes, and I feel like that's something that I will take home with me. Like, what was I doing back before coming to Japan? Like, thinking about it now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, all that dirt. Sure, we vacuum, sure, we clean, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense to leave your shoes at the front door. So like in my house and in every Asian people's house, they have slippers, right, or socks, but like usually slippers for guests and slippers for even yourself, where you at the entrance you leave your outside shoes there, and then you come back, you come inside your house wearing slippers. It makes so much sense and I love it, and it's so hygienic as well. Another cultural difference that I've experienced and continue to experience every single day between South Africans and Japan is that South Africans are usually straightforward, right? They usually say what they want to say. Like if you want to say no, you say no, right? Whereas here in Japan, people don't really say their honest feelings as much. It's like a thing that you have to navigate as well, like, you know, on your own. It's like I think it goes back to that whole thing of like private and public self. So the public self is wanting to keep the harmony, wanting to make everybody happy, wanting to give the right answer, whereas your private self is like your true feelings, right? So what would happen is that usually Japanese people don't give direct answers. They give very, very vague answers, and it's like you have to read between the lines and then get your answer. So for example, if you ask someone like, hey, can we go for drinks, or can we do this tomorrow, and they're like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. In that moment you want a yes we will, or no we won't, right? In people, they will probably not give a yes or no. They'll probably yeah. So they usually in their minds, like in their mind, they might actually be thinking, oh hell no. But they won't tell you directly. They won't be like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. They won't be like, oh no, maybe we can reschedule. No, they'll probably be like, maybe, or right. And it might leave you frustrated as like a foreigner, or like as a person who's used to people being direct or straightforward. But I feel like as South Africans, we are kind of like, we will tell you what we think, like, no, maybe next week, or no, sorry, maybe I'm busy, yeah, maybe we'll reschedule, or maybe I'll get back to you, and then they do get back to you. But yeah, people usually never tell their true feelings, which is quite frustrating actually. It's a frustrating cultural difference. It's a frustrating way of communication that people have here versus back home. Okay guys, so if you have any questions regarding the JET program, you can also ask me. If you have any questions about anything that I've said in my video, or anything that you've like been wondering about, I will try my best to answer as well. Please feel free. So thank you so much for always watching my content. See you next time in the next video. Bye guys.